Welcome to another episode of Math Made Simple. I'm Miss Munah and I'm a math specialist here at the Pi Lab. In this video, I'll be analysing some common examination questions. I've put the question in a handout and you may download a copy for free by clicking on the description box below. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to show you how to factorise linear algebraic expressions. So I've given you a question with 4 parts and the instruction over here says factorise. So if you haven't watched my earlier video, please pause and go and find the video on expansion. Now, expansion and factorization are actually related. How are they related? Let me show you. So if you are given an expression such as 2 times of x plus 3, where you see the brackets over here, and the instruction is expand, what are you going to do? You're supposed to get rid of the brackets. And how do we do that? If you have watched my earlier video, I've actually separated the expression in the brackets into their separate terms. And then after that, we're going to multiply. So 2 times x will give me 2x. And then 2 times plus 3 will give me plus 6. So the process going forward over here is called expansion. Now, what about factorization then? Factorization just simply means that you're going to go in the reverse direction. So from 2x plus 6, I'm supposed to take out something. In this case, 2. So this is factorization. And although some of you may have done factorization, I'm not sure whether you realize that the number that you take out over here actually corresponds to the highest common factor. You always have to pull out the highest common factor. So let's begin with part A. In part A, we have 15x plus 30. So again, some of you don't think about the HCF. Some of you may be thinking, okay, teacher, I know. 15 and 30, I can divide by 5. So you will do this. 5 times what will give me 15x? 5 times 3x. Then 5 times what will give me 30? It is 6. Then you happily will write the answer. Okay, teacher, because the common factor is 5, I'm going to pull out 5. And then what's left is 3x plus 6. And then after that, if this is a 1-mark question, I can guarantee you will get 0 marks. So this is totally incorrect. Now, what then is the correct way? The correct way would be to copy down the question and pull out the HCF of 15 and 30. So what is the HCF? It would be 15. So again, pull out 15. So for the first 15x, you have 15 times x. For the second term, you have 15 times 2, which will give you 30. So we know now that the HCF is 15. We're going to take out 15. And what is left inside? You have x plus 2. So copy that down and put it inside the bigger brackets. And that, boys and girls, is your answer for part A. Definitely not this first one. This first one is totally wrong. Now, what about part B? You don't see any numbers, right? Some of you may start panicking. Don't panic. I'm going to show you how to tackle this question. So first of all, copy the question again. We have p squared plus pq squared. There are no numbers. It's fine. But what's the meaning of p squared and what's the meaning of pq squared? If you recall, in your very first chapter, which when you dealt with prime numbers and index notation, remember how you would write 11 times 11 in a short form? You would write 11 to the power of 2, right? Or 11 squared. Now, why 11 squared? Because there are 2 11s. So similarly, if you have p times p, it is the same thing. There are 2 p's, so it will become p squared. If it is a q times q, it will become q squared, since there are 2 q's. So in this case, you can write this down as p times p, but instead of using multiplication sign, use brackets. And over here, you write p times q squared. Now, what have I just done? I've recognized that my HCF is p. Because why? After you take out a p, there's nothing else that p and q squared has in common. So you're going to extract the p. After that, what's left inside? You have p plus q squared. So you're going to write that down inside the bigger brackets, p plus q squared. And that will be our final answer. Now, I hope so far this has been easy for you. So let's go to part C. So in part C, you have negative 21x cubed plus 14x squared. So over here, there are 2 parts. First of all, you have to find the HCF of 21 and 14. So for 21 and 14, what is the HCF? It will be 7. Now, what else? There are also letters, x cubed and x squared. What is the HCF? If for those of you who are unsure, x cubed is actually x times x times x. and x squared is x times x. So HCF of these two would mean that I'm looking for something both of them have. So in this case, my HCF would be x squared. So let's write that down. So my overall HCF should be 7x squared. Now, how do I get back to my negative 21x cubed then? My 7 needs to multiply to a negative 3. My x squared needs another x. Now, what about the second term, 14x squared? From my 7, I need to get a 2 in order to be able to get back 14. And x squared, I multiply by 1 to get x squared. So there's nothing else to write there except for the 2 over here. Now, after this, once you're done, you just double check. Is there anything in the brackets that I can factor out? The answer is no. Do you know why? Because this one is the HCF. Okay, our 7x squared is already the HCF. So you are done factorizing. However, some of you may ask, teacher, is there another way to answer this question? Actually, there is. Some of you, instead of pulling out 7x squared, might have extracted negative 7x squared instead. Now, in this case, you would end up with a 3x minus 2. Okay, if you don't believe me, try it out on your own. After that, if you still don't believe me, what you can do is to expand the entire expression. Okay, you should get back your negative 21x cubed plus 14x squared. Now, let's go to the last part, which is part D. I don't know whether you notice, all the terms here are negative. So, a lot of times I tell my students, if all of your terms are negative, you see, everything is negative over here, you're going to extract a negative factor. Okay, this is very important. If all your terms are negative, extract a negative factor. So obviously, I need to have a minus something, right? So what do all these numbers have in common? What do negative 16, negative 12, and negative 4 have in common? They are all factors of negative 4. So for my first term, I have negative 16x. And how do I get back my negative 16x from negative 4? I need 4x. And similarly, what about negative 12y? If I'm going to pull out a negative 4, I need 3y to get back my negative 12y. And lastly, if I pull out a negative 4, how do I get back a negative 4? I need a 1. So now that you know that your HCF is negative 4, what do we do right now? Write down negative 4, put a big bracket over here, and then what's left behind goes inside the bigger brackets. So you have 4x plus 3y plus 1. And that is the answer. Do you know why? Because when you look inside the brackets, 4x plus 3y and 1 have nothing else in common because your HCF is already negative 4. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up. If you would like to check out more videos by us, please click on the links on the right hand side. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Thank you, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!